Hey, I'm your host, Melissa, and I want to welcome you to Not Your Average Blonde podcast. I'm here to show you how to elevate your life to become the best version of yourself. I want to take you along your journey to be anything but average and step into your confidence era. Join me each week by subscribing and listening to Not Your Average Blonde podcast, and let's begin our journey to become anything but average. Hello, Not Your Average Besties. Welcome to the very first episode of Blonde Boost. I'm your host, Melissa, and this is your place to get your mindset right in just a few minutes. So I heard your feedback, and I decided to launch a short series that will help give your mindset that quick boost it needs to power through the day that you can digest in a matter of a few minutes. So today we're kicking things off with the reminder of something powerful. You have everything, and I mean everything, you need to create the life you want. So what does this mean? Let's dive into this a little bit more in the few minutes that I have you here today. One of the biggest things we can forget, when life feels overwhelming or we hit a roadblock, is just how powerful we truly are. Times like this sucks because it really minimizes how you feel about your potential, and your mindset can become very narrow. And it's a very uncomfortable place to be in. It's very discouraging. And we all go through those periods and times when we feel stuck. We often feel stuck, but the truth is you have the ability to be able to change your thoughts, to shift your mindset and create your own reality. And it starts with one thing, embracing your power. So what does embracing your power mean? Is it just some buzzwords? No, there's actually a lot more to it, and there's actually quite a bit of science and stuff that's out there, especially when you talk to elite performers and athletes and stuff. And that's something we can get into in a much longer episode, but for today, I'm going to give you a truncated version of it. So what does this mean? Embracing your power essentially means recognizing that you're not a passive observer in your life. You are the creator of your life. You decide how you react, you decide how you show up, and the story that you tell yourself. No one else has your exact combination of strengths, experiences, and desires. You are the unique person who can make your dreams happen. Not anyone else, you. So here's something that I want you to think about. When things aren't going the way we want them to, we often fall into a trap of thinking that we're powerless. And this kind of sounds like things such as, I can't do this, or it's too hard, or I've always been this way. I'm too old to change, which is bullshit, by the way. It absolutely drives me crazy when I hear people that use that excuse. But recognizing that you have that power, and instead of seeing yourself as powerless, you can choose to see yourself as resourceful. It's pretty cool that we can change our mindset that way and our perspective. So what if instead of saying, I can't, you said, I don't know how yet, but I will figure it out. There's a lot of power in that statement alone. I'll restate it again. I don't know how yet, but I will figure it out. That power lies in I will figure it out. That's all on you. And you have that confidence in reframing your mind and having that mindset. You'll believe it, and you'll start cultivating the energy within you to be able to make it happen. And it's in those moments of uncertainty and discomfort that you're going to be called to step into your full potential. Growth is uncomfortable, but by stepping into your power, it doesn't mean that you won't face challenges. You probably will, but it means that you're going to show up anyway. So even when those challenges happen, you're going to make that decision to still show up because you trust in your ability to adapt, grow, and overcome. So when you embrace your power, it's not going to be about being perfect. It's about being relentless in your pursuit of growth and purpose. It's knowing that even when things don't go according to your plan, which they rarely ever go exactly according to plan, that's just how life works out, but you know that you can adjust, pivot, and keep moving forward. Some of the best advice I've ever heard, I heard it a couple years ago, actually listening to another podcast series, was to start and to pivot. And to start, that can be anything from, that idea or that startup that you want, or in the context of wanting to improve and to fix your mindset, is start and pivot and adjust as you go. You're going to encounter obstacles and things aren't going to be perfect, but that's okay. Take that leap and start and pivot as you move forward. So much of life is about perspective and the perspective that you tell yourself. If you believe you're powerful, you're going to act from that place. So I want you to reflect on this. Take a moment and think of a time when you made it through something difficult. It can be recent, it can be in the past. I'll give you a few seconds. Maybe it was a small win or was like a huge breakthrough, but I guarantee you it wasn't easy. It was probably a very challenging time in your life, especially in that period. But what was the biggest thing that you learned at that moment? Was it how to navigate the challenge? Was it how to keep going even when you felt like stopping? Either of those, that was your power in action. The fact that you're able to like navigate your way through it and overcome it exemplifies your power in action. So now let's take today's boost and let's make it a little bit more practical. So whenever you feel like you're facing something difficult, whether it's a goal that seems out of reach, a tough conversation, or just a moment of self-doubt, I want you to ask yourself, what's one thing I can do right now to move forward? So think on that. Think about on your day, especially if you're going into work right now, what's on your to-do list? What's that one thing that you're, kind of maybe dreading a little bit, or that challenge that you're not quite sure? Break it down for a second. What's one thing that you can do to like move forward from it? And it doesn't have to be a giant leap. It can be as simple as I'm going to go in with a positive mind today. So a mindset shift, or identifying, an action that you can take that gets you even if it's just like a small step closer to your goal. Because every step forward that you take, no matter how small, again, it's proof and validation of your power. So before we wrap up, I promise you it was going to be short. I want you to take a moment and think about that. What's, one thing you can do today to embrace your power? Keep it simple. Maybe it's taking that moment to remind yourself of your strengths, or reach out for help if you need it. Maybe when you get into the office, write it down. Write what you're going to do and actually do it. Do it right there. Write it down and then get it done. But whatever it is, I want you to trust in yourself that you are capable and you are so much more powerful than you think. So that's my little tidbit for you today. And thank you again for listening to Not Your Average Blonde. This is your Blonde Boost. Keep shining and remember that you are your own greatest strength.